Hi guys, you are welcome and welcome back to Time with Joy. My name is Ike Guy and this is our channel Time with Joy. If you're new here, please do well to subscribe, like this video and share with others. And you can also check out some of our previous videos. This is Chit Chat on the Couch. In this episode, we are going to talk about gender equality. Are men and women really the same, or what's the difference? Can't we be equal? So stay tuned and watch this video till the end.
Hello guys, you're welcome back. Today we are going to look at a very important topic that has been trending for some time, and I think we as Christians ought to have answers, what we think about that. Else, if we sit down for the world to define some of these things for us, what we truly believe will be lost in all the conversations going on. So it's going to be very brief today. We want to look at the subject of equality of men and women. I know it's a political topic, but we try to keep it biblical and give biblical perspectives for those out there to know what the Bible stands on that and what generally should be the case, right? So we want to dive right into it. Are men and women equal? To give some background, we realize that from the 1960s, right, most...
Because the
I repeat myself before I was rudely interrupted. From the 1960s, we realized that there have been great strides, great achievement of feminist groups who have championed movements to get voting rights for women, to strive for equal pay across all levels of jobs, to basically give women some level of freedom that they assume men have. Because the assumption is that we live in a patriarchal world. The patriarchy, the patriarchy, yes, the man's world, and there have been a lot of discussions.
But sometimes it feels true.
There seems to be some assumptions that the world actually favors the men. And so feminist movements are formed out of that to push for women's rights, put it that way. And I support that. I think women should be allowed to do what every man is doing. Yes. But in the midst of all that, I believe that some of the underlying assumptions of feminism is basically wrong.
Work feminism,
Maybe, yeah. Woke feminism. Radical feminism. Radical feminism. But I think the underlying assumptions are really wrong. So what do you think about men and women being equal and how far we've come?
Okay, so I'll say yes and then I'll say no to the question, are men and women equal? I think the question should be definite. Equal in what, actually? If it's equal in value, then yes, we are. The life of a man matters, the life of a woman matters.
Sure.
But when we come to our gender, no. Because even in our physique, we are different. Studies have shown that men have thicker skin than women. Men have higher testosterone. I mean, we all know the physical differences.
Yeah.
We have, and you don't have. Please, be in the spirit.
I'm trying.
So there are 1,001 differences between men and women, but if we are talking about value, then yes, we are the same in terms of value. Christ came to die for all, Jew, Gentile, man, woman, everything. So basically there are differences, and I think that they are not supposed to be negative, because there are strength on both sides. What men lack, women have. What women lack, men have. And God created us to depend on each other, not to fight or battle each other for who has the greater power or who is better or who is stronger. It is not necessary. But I understand because I'm a woman and I know how it feels like to be a black African woman.
Independent black African woman.
Some men believe that just because of the fact that they are men means they are wiser or they are stronger or they are better than women. They look down on every other woman. Meanwhile, the Bible indicated that women should submit to the man that is their head. But I think people have taken it out of context. They have taken it out of context and want to run over every woman. So I think that anger has fueled some of the negativity around this gender equality, gender wars thing. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Good. I think you've mentioned a lot of points that needs further discussion. But talking of, you mentioned something like differences.
Yes.
For me, I think it's true. When I open my YouTube, we find videos about history, about cars, big cars. I love cars.
It's so hot.
You see videos about movie recaps, and most of them are adventure movies. You see,
And Ben Shapiro and
yes, a lot of
and cars
educational.
cars running fast and bish and
The guys, they
it's all like and
open
football.
My
and
wife's YouTube.
please,
Babies.
it's okay.
Babies.
Don't come and disgrace me. What is that?
Babies. All the ones that all the videos that give you an feeling. Babies and nothing else. Babies. Maybe
And
a little,
nothing
no,
else,
please,
really.
please.
I learn a lot of.
Come in there. Makeup. How to do makeup.
I learned how to do
draw,
makeup on my
how
own
to draw
phone.
eyebrow. Come on. How to pound fufu without using mortar and pestle. And all those things. That's right.
We can
there.
end the video here. Thank you.
That's right
Thank
there.
you for
Exposing you. That right there highlights our individual differences. And that is not supposed to be a bad thing. Right? We are not supposed to like the same things. And I think that even recently the idea of or the practice of women adding their husbands' surname to their names or removing their names entirely and replacing them has been a subject of intense debate, because that's also taken as one of the signs of men dominating women. But it is understandable because the man is understood to be the giver of the seed, right? So if I am in a family setting, the man is seen to be the carrier of the seed, right? So if I give birth, I give my name to my daughter. So it looks like every woman is actually bearing the name of a man because they are the giver of seed. That is the understanding coming from in our own African understanding, women still took the names of their fathers or their husbands, because we think that when a woman marries, the husband in a sense replaces the father. So you take the name of your husband in place of your father. That is understanding. It was not because the woman is less of a human being. So the basic thing is that we are equal, like you said. We are equal in value. The sacredness of our human life are equal. When a male baby dies, it's as painful as a female baby.
But okay, yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying that some people don't see it that way.
Yes, they are
Some
wrong.
people don't,
No, they are the ones that are wrong. Right? And so, for me, the underlying assumption that I think is wrong that drives this radical feminism is that in striving for equal opportunities, they are actually striving for equal outcomes, which is wrong. In striving for equal opportunity, they want to strive for equal outcomes, which is wrong. For example, let's say a 13-year-old boy and then a 13-year-old girl are given the same opportunity to climb the same tree. Of course, it's obvious the man will come out on top.
All things being equal.
All things being equal, because the physical advantage will be there. psychological advantage with them. Because the last time in the last video we said that men are more risk takers.
Yeah.
Right? A woman will think about 1,000 reasons why this thing, that context is even taking place in the first place before they even make a move. Maybe the guy, you just seeing a tree and the fact that he can climb. Of course, it has come out in marine trainings that the men outperform the women, like almost 8-1 in a boxing well. I think I was watching a video the last time, and Serena Williams and her sister wanted to. Those are world class tennis players, but then a normal 56-year-old guy also beat them. They were beaten. There have been times where I think the 55-year-old man played the Australian women's soccer team and scored them. So the idea to blur the gap or the difference between men and women, thinking we have equal capability, always backfires. So when we are pushing for equality, I'm all for equal opportunities. If I'm a girl, I should have access to all the schools, all the jobs out there, simply because I'm also a human being. But then the outcome will not be the same. Equal pay. There are some institutions that actually pay men more than women.
But I think that is declining because of
the
activism.
Yes, it is. Yes, activism and advocacy groups they are doing a good job. But I think that if a man is taking a bigger salary than a woman, it should be simply based on merit. That the man is actually doing more.
Working more overtime,
more ways,
all those things.
Yes.
But if the output is the same, we all work 5 to 8 and 8 to 5.
85. 5 to 8.
And
really nice
85. But so, like you said, it should be purely based on merit, because for most women, let's say they are family people, they have kids and all that, they would have to go and take their kids from school before coming to work. They would have to get the kids ready for school. There is more effort they will put in, and so they can't stay as long as most men can in the office. For instance, you can stay in the office till 10 p.m. and still come home. But if there are children here, it will be my responsibility to come home and come and take care of them whilst you are away. So in that sense, if you take an overtime for those 5 hours spent, it's not a big deal. But for the 5 and 8 to 5 time range, we should be paid the same if we are doing the same work. Let's say you're a financial analyst, I'm a financial analyst in the same corporate world, whatever.
Same qualifications.
Same qualifications.
Paid equally, which I think is the case in majority of corporate.
It's getting better now.
Yes, it's getting better. So, I think that there is also another thing that we, now the world is being more sentimental, emotional about some of these things. For example, when you take the government, the ratio of men to women is almost like 10 to 2, right? But why is it so? Is it because men like to do politics more than women, so you find naturally more men in politics? And I've talked about this risk taking already. Or simply because the men have to be on the upper scale of on the upper echelons of power, and the women are supposed to be trampled on. So whenever a government is appointing people into many government offices, then women's rights groups push for more appointment of women. When it happens, I don't get it. Must they be appointed simply because women must be represented, or is also the appointments or the appointments are actually based on merit again? So that is why this LGBTQ rights in Ghana has become a dicey matter. Should we appoint them simply because they are women?
Is it LGBTQ?
Yes. No, I'm talking about, I'm just making an allusion to the LGBT. Because now it's like, you must accept them, or Ghana must endorse because they have to be endorsed, or it actually adds to our social values. We should be evaluating some of these things in light of what it actually has to add, right? So now, concerning the women, should we appoint more women in parliament? In parliament, or should we vote more women in parliament or in government offices because
Feminine representation.
yes, for feminine representation for the sake of it, or it actually gives better results. If it actually gives better results, then it should be. But if for the feminine representation of it alone and there's really not any other thing, why don't we then appoint anybody else for the sake of it, right? So I believe that sometimes the radical feminist groups, I mean, there are feminist groups that are doing a great job out there.
That's why now we can end equal.
Yes, I remember one of the most important, I think that was in the 1990s, 2000s. There was a feminist group that was championing girl child education, and they are still here in Ghana. We have done a serious
Send your girl child to school.
send your girl child to school. I remember the song very well, and they have done a marvelous work because our parents' generation kept thinking women are supposed to be restricted
And kept
to
in the kitchen.
the kitchen, which was an age-old practice. Now we have made
Serious progress.
serious progress in that regard, and I think it's a thumbs up to all the
But you'd be
advocacy
shocked
groups.
to know that there are some
Of course, yes.
people that still believe they don't
Yes.
have to educate.
Culture
their
must
children.
reflect.
That's huge.
Yes, culture must be dynamic, must reflect current traits that actually benefit society. Because if you keep half of the world's population uneducated, it serves no purpose for humanity.
At all.
Right? If we are all educated, then we are able to do more.
Yes.
That's it. But then the underlying assumption is that men and women are different. We are equal in value. We are different in capabilities, abilities, the way we think, our body structure, which actually now brings about the different outcomes we see in sports, in education, in society, right?
So this makes the transgender thing very funny, especially the transgender men to women who go back to go and join the sports team of the women. That's a cheat, because naturally they have been built for more strength and more masculine strength. So it would be a cheat for someone like that to be playing in the women's team. But that's what they are doing now.
Yeah. So
It doesn't make sense.
yeah. So I've always disagreed with this statement, or so I say a cliche, that what a man can do, a woman can do better. It is so wrong. I'll never tell my daughter that. So all that she grows up thinking she must be forced to outdo a man. And growing up, I faced a lot of competition in the class from the girls, simply because their fathers told them, beat all the guys in the class. What a man can do, a woman can do differently.
Okay.
Not better. Better is a word of comparison. Yes. A woman can do differently because they are different. They do it differently. There are men
Well,
that
it actually depends on what. If it's something that men have the natural advantage over, then the man can do it
yes,
better.
that's what I'm saying.
If
that-
it's what a woman has
yes.
the natural advantage.
So there are a lot of things men outdo women, and a lot of things women outdo men. Taking care of the family. No man takes care of the family better than the woman. that
All
is natural.
things being equal.
Yes, that is a natural disposition, right? So, like I was saying, military training, things that involve more physical, more risk taking. So you realize that men take more dangerous jobs. They work the long hours. They are the ones that die more in battle. They are the ones that they commit suicide. They are the ones that are likely to get into prison. They are, you see, so where is the equality? Then you should also equal that. You see, that was a question one professor asked, that if men go through all that and women are looking for equality, why do we seek equality in the white collar jobs and not the blue collar jobs? Maybe there should be more women bricklayers, there should be more women electricians, plumbers.
Women are venturing into that too. I recently
Those
had
are the
women's
exceptions.
on women's.
These
I
are the
saw
exceptions. Just to make a statement.
a female coffin maker.
Those are the exceptions. You should be
Yes,
seeing more
that's
women
interesting.
doing the menial jobs. Oh, that one is reserved for men. But why should we put them in power? So that is where the difference comes in. Now, because we are built this way, we are able to take on many other jobs. So we shouldn't focus on the 1% of men up there. Women shouldn't focus on the 1% of men up there and try to equalize that. If you want to equalize, then there should be like equality across all social levels, which is not achievable. It's difficult. So men and women are equal in value as a human being. They are not less of human beings. If I'm a man, I'm a human being. You are a woman, you are a human being.
I think you mentioned that 1% of men up there that I think some of them cause a lot of trouble for the women down there. That's why most women are fighting them.
Yes.
For instance, you need to sleep with someone before you get a job. They have the money, but they will not help people, and they just want to amass the wealth and then keep pushing people down.
But then the other side of it is that because then women focus on the men up there, they step on a lot of men to get there.
Yes.
You see, we talk of yes, and those are serious challenges in a society that must be pegged out. Like because of a woman's femininity, it's easily for them to be taken advantage of.
Yes.
But talk of men. They literally have nothing to give. So the odds that a man and a woman are going to look for a first job, the odds are that the woman, that is not an excuse. But the assumption is that the woman can use what she has to get a job. As a guy, what are you going to give? Is a money. You see, so there are a lot of advantages also hidden in society that actually favors women more than men. Our society is actually very lenient to women. They are, you see, they are presented in that. Yes, weak, feeble, so needs to be taken care of. Those things.
I think it's a natural thing.
Yes, I remember one time my mom had a problem at a police station. And I've told you the story. serious case, but she just sat there and began to cry. Mentioning her children's name, what was going to take care of them. Immediately, the heart of the whoever was in charge sank. Said, "Okay, my woman, you may go." If he was a guy, whether you cry blood or not, the law would have taken its course. Not to say she was let go of. There was a minor civil case, so it was not actually a criminal case, but just for the purpose of crying, she was let go. So these are some of the advantages also of being a woman. So we should strive for equality in the places that equality actually matters, not in the places where a woman can do better. So we should put women there for the sake of being women. For me, I don't agree with that. But in our value as human beings, we are equal. Yes.
That's true. Anything to add?
Not really. But in our next video, we talk about how this impacts relationships.
Yes.
I mean, the gender roles, should a man wash the dishes, take the garbage out, all those things, and the traditional gender roles. We'll talk about it. And once we have settled on this, that men and women are equal in one aspect and not necessarily all other aspects, we'll talk about how that affects relationships. And then I'll talk about a certain principle I found in the scriptures.
Okay guys, thank you so much for staying till the end. Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you are on high alert for what's coming next. Like he said, we'll be talking about how these things affect relationships, so stay tuned. Do well to subscribe, like, share with someone, and tell them to subscribe.
Please subscribe.
You've eaten, so you cannot use.
Please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot in store for you. God bless you so much.
Thank you.